now we are going to talk about future trends. Okay, we are always looking ahead, the landscape of lean and continuous improvement, because it's constantly evolving. So what do you see as the future trends or emerging challenges in lean and continuous improvement, uh, based on your experience? So could you provide some insights on this? David, you can start.
Sure. I definitely see. I mean, we know AI is just gonna keep growing and driving, more of our activities and tasks. Something that I have been working on, lately is the introduction of VR for lean trainings. Right now, we're still in an exploratory phase, but I think that's something that, might be able to help us in the future. Something that I have experienced and worked with over the past couple of years, also 3D printing. We're talking about best practice sharing. And I think that's a technology that we have not leveraged as we would like to. But being able to, send fixtures and jigs to 3D printers globally in real time, every time we change something or a standard change something. But I see those trends. We started trying also with the use of drones following people in our warehouses. I think that's something that probably will grow in the future. Today, we're still limited with batteries and those type of things. But I think as these get more efficient, I think those are probably tools that we'll be able to use in the future.
That's great. I think that you are starting to talk about Industry 10.0, or that's incredible. That's incredible, the future. Kelly, what about you? How do you see the future trends?
I agree with David. I think the digital and robotic space, for example, is something that I see a lot of future for, and we haven't figured it all out yet. But there's many different areas that I think we can use some of that technology to be more efficient, to eliminate some of the waste that we have, especially a lot of the manual work in the area of safety. For example, we found a lot of robotic solutions that help eliminate some of that repetitive strain type uh, injury potential from our operations by using advanced technology there. Also, the use of robotic inspections for tanks and things like that, where we can actually use some of the digital tools that are out there to do those inspections without putting people in harm's way, reducing a lot of the risk in the work. And we even see technology-wise more advanced data analytics that allow us to reduce some of the waste in our people effort around quality testing, for example, and other statistical approaches that can be used to reduce the amount or the frequency of repetitive testing or validation processes, assurance processes in general. So I think those digital twins as well, where we can use that technology to mimic and predict and gain insight into what we can do to be more effective and productive, drive efficiencies. And I think even analytics or insight-driven tools that look forward and say, okay, here's a scenario and here's the predicted outcome from that scenario, that we can get some insights into industry changes based on some of the trends that we see that help us be more prepared and resilient and adaptive to some of those changes in the environment that we're operating in.
Good. Sam, what about
So,
you?
so it's hard to speak after this wonderful summary by David and Kelly, but I'll try my best. So definitely, I mean, digital and data is a big thing now that we're seeing. Um, I mean, nowadays, with the way data is, if you have good data structure, you're able to almost do your define and measure phase through a few clicks, through Power BI or whatever tool that you're using. So to me, at this day and age, the define and measure phase should be done very, very quickly. Obviously, once you know where the problem is, you still need to go to the shop floor and do your analyze phase and understand what the root cause is. But that's definitely a transformation that we're seeing, is that data analysis is done very, very quickly, very easily at the click of a buttons. And I think the younger generations are obviously definitely expecting that as well. And another, it's not much of a trend, but I would say transformation in the pharmaceutical industry is that I work in a contract manufacturing environment. And now we're seeing our customer more and more demanding for continuous improvement initiatives. So, at the time in the pharma industry, it wasn't necessarily a must, or, the idea was to make a good quality product, but, the cost wasn't that important. It was just a good quality product delivered on time. Now, customers more and more, they want a good quality product delivered on time, and they're very cost sensitive as well. So continuous improvement is no longer a luxury in our industry, but it's a must to survive. And that's a transformation that we're seeing in these current years.
Good. And I want to talk. We were talking about future trends, and you mentioned, I think the three of you mentioned that digital transformation at the end is going to be one of these future trends. But I want to deep dive in this topic, because I think that in today's digital age, organizations are increasingly leveraging digital technology and data analytics to enhance lean practices. So how are you harnessing digital transformation to drive continuous improvement? Kelly, could you share how digital technologies are influencing lean practices based on your experience?
Certainly. I can share Shell's experience has been that digital tools are absolutely essential. But we've also had to really reflect on what is the pace at which we can actually adopt those and effectively utilize those. And an element that we also look at is in the context of the value that the tool creates, and that value needs to be reflective of waste elimination, some sort of manual effort, and a productivity boost. Is it actually affordable at the end of the day? The tool development can be quite expensive, so you really have to look at it in terms of what is the payback for the value that you're creating. But the efficiencies that you can gain from using digital in the right ways around the insights, around the data analysis, the manual effort that's done today in spreadsheets, and get those data insights real time is really impactful. It's also quite a task to actually elevate your organization, in our experience, to be able to have the capability to do that in the context of their day-to-day. People get quite attached to the way that they look at information coming to them, and so changing the change management process for bringing digital tools into the day-to-day leader standard work for all levels of the organization has to be something you carefully consider in order for you to get the biggest payback from the digital effort.
Agree, completely agree. So David, how are organizations integrating these data analytics into their continuous improvement initiatives? That is linked with what Kelly was explaining.
It is a very good question. Something that we've been working on is, so we know we have a lot of information, a lot of data, right? In a lot of cases, might be useful, but it's not usable, or might be usable, but it's not useful. So having those teams that are able to dissect the data that you need and can help you actually improve not only products, but processes. Let me give you an example. Right now, we're working on a lot of projects on how to reduce proliferation of components, developing under similar platforms. So gathering that data and being able to use same platforms in different regions when possible, that's helping us drive a lot of improvements when it comes to developing new products and being able to launch product faster. And then on the other hand, for the people developing new processes, also being able to gather data from equipment, from machine, using integrations of PLCs, and then helping that to develop the right process for the right product, I think it's key, and it's helping us not only achieve performance targets, but also getting the most out of our piece of equipment. and understanding to design better and new equipment as well with our partners. So I see that one as a big one. The other one is there's a lot of information coming from our customers, but how do we take it and how do we digest it so we can drive improvements for our products? That's super difficult in a lot of cases. So we have a small group relatively, right, working on trying to get that information. So again, when we're designing new products, how do we take in consideration what is value for our customers, right? We tend to also over-engineer products. So taking those things in consideration when developing and launching new products as well.
I think that maybe for the future, this could be even a problem, because now we are starting to collect more and more information, but we don't know what to do with that. So probably this is going to be also a problem for the future.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Sam, what digital transformation strategy have proven successful in driving continuous improvement in your experience?
So definitely, I mean, collecting information, I think a lot of companies now have been doing it and are doing it. But the idea is, how do you take that data and make it talk in a way that you can have actionable items to really drive results? And that's one thing we're doing at Delpharm, is that we try to integrate data into our daily management system. So you're able to, within a few click of a buttons on a screen that you have in your Obeya room, to see the results of the last 24 hours, which product performed better, which line performed worse. We're able to get the yield of our products and so on of our machines. So by integrating, I would say, data and new technology to the basics, of a continuous improvement and daily management system, it allows us to easily take the right decisions and really based on data. And also, one thing that we're also cautious about at Delpharm is, so digital transformation is good, but you always need to start by asking yourself the question, what is the business need for that digital transformation? Because a lot of times, people will propose to you, let's go ahead with this software or that software. Great, that's good. But what's the business need? What's the problem? What are you trying to solve with this software? And often when they have that reflection, they realize that the software solution really does not meet what they're trying to solve. So digital transformation is great. We just have to use it with great care, that it's not a gimmick, but it's truly solving a business problem or adding value to our customer or to ourselves as a company.
And I think that some companies are starting to, now everyone wants to digitalize your processes. So they want to do it even without knowing if they have a problem or an opportunity. And sometimes it's just they just want to digitalize even before doing an analysis of how should be the process for the future. So
exactly.
For me, it's always, you need to improve the process, and once it's improved, you have to bring technology to make it better and bring that technology to make this process to happen. But the first step is, let's do the analysis about how should be this process for the future, what is our situation now, how is the vision, and then let's integrate these solutions.
Exactly. The digital should make your process more efficient and simpler to use. So I think you couldn't have said it better, Victor. The process should work without the digital, but now the digital is just a step to make it easier and faster and more efficient and more accessible to everybody across the organization.
That's it. Thank you.